You'll never find. What's up, good people? We are back in this damn building with another episode of my podcast by word of mouth. Welcome. Sit your ass down. Go get you a drink. If you driving your car, turn it up. If you at home, sit down, kick your feet up, and enjoy this episode. If you at work, be easy with your laughs because I don't want you to get fired. But we are back in the building, man. I'm so happy to be back recording another episode for your listening pleasure, man. My name is Dre Morissette, and I am your host, Steve Harvey. I am your host of this podcast by word of mouth, man. And we got a lot to talk about today. And I just want everybody to be able to enjoy this episode because it's going to be a good one. And before I get started, I want to, always let everybody know I appreciate everybody for taking the time out of their day, their afternoon, their morning, or whenever they decide to listen to my podcast. I appreciate you. I don't never think that I don't appreciate you because even at this level, you're working your way up, man. You want to let everybody know that you appreciate them taking the time to listen to you because you don't have to listen. You can be like, man, I ain't listening to that shit. But the fact that people are listening to this podcast and listening to what I have to say, and it brings thought provoking thoughts to them, and it lets them say, hey, man, Dre, I really enjoyed that show, man. I appreciate it. Because you could very well say, man, what the hell are you talking about on that podcast? That was trash. But you're not. And I really want everybody to understand I truly appreciate the support. I appreciate the feedback, and I can't express enough how that makes me feel. And at this point, it's been a year, which I gotta clap it up for that. It's been a year since I've been doing this podcast, right? You gotta excuse me, I still got my allergies. I've been doing a podcast for a year. And the first time we did an episode, it got over 400 views, which if without marketing, it's to me, it's a win. And so the views I'm getting now is like 200-300. And I want to reach another plateau. I haven't really marketed it that much. I marketed it on Facebook. I sent it out to all my friends on Facebook, on Instagram, and all that. So the whole objective is to get the views up. But I don't want to wash down the episodes. I want to be able to still bring the solid content, man, because I got a lot of things that I see on a daily basis. I got a lot of things that I, witness to or privy to hear, and I just want to be able to have a show where it's really a good show, and it's not watered down, and you can say what you want to say without offending nobody, and be able to do that. So I just want to be able to build this podcast. I want to build this podcast to get thousands of views, and we're going to get there, man. If just keep working and working and marketing things, and it's going to happen. But I certainly appreciate everyone for taking the time out, like I said, to look at this podcast, give me feedback, and tell me what you think. So, moving right along, before we get in the show, I just want to talk about two fragrances real quick. And ladies, I am so sorry that I don't have well, I do and I don't. I have a unisex fragrance that I'm gonna talk about, but I had a fragrance that I gave my girl this week. It came in last week, and it smelled like coconut island water. It was really a good smell, but it was just too sweet. And I think it would lean more towards women. And it's from Lattafa. The smell was really good. It lasts on my skin. I want to say all day. The day that I tested it out, it lasted on my skin all day. It was on my shirt the next day. I could smell it. So when I get that name for you ladies, I would definitely put the bug in your ear for that. But that smells like, man, coconut water and some like citruses and fruit. It smelled like a day in the islands. That's what it smelled like. So I'm definitely gonna bring some more fragrance for you ladies because I had my next door neighbor, which is like family to me. she's like asked me a question. She's like, Dre, what is a good fragrance for women? And I had so many thoughts in my head. I really didn't want to give her a, one that I didn't think was great, but I gave her one, but I want to be able to give her several and just say, hey, try these out. So moving right along. But before we get started into the fragrance part, the fragrance part ain't gonna be that long. I got 2 fragrances that I want to discuss about. But there's a quote by John, and I could be saying his name wrong, but I listen to him every morning. John Ron. I think his name is John Ron. I think his name is John Ron. No, I'm sorry. It's Jim Ron. Jim Ron, excuse me. This quote comes from Jim Ron. This was a mentor of his. His mentor, Jim Ron, said he was broke at 25 and he had a family. He was broken and he got a mentor. I can't remember what his mentor's name was. But in one of his motivational speaks that I listen to on, daily, this is what he said. And sometimes something can be said in a speech that you have to stop the whole, speech to process what that person said. And this is what Jim, I hope I'm saying his name right, Jim Ron said on his during one of his seminars. He said, they put some of the valuable things on a high shelf so you can't get to them until you qualify. If you want the things on the higher shelf, you got to stand on the books you read. Now, see, the thing about that real quickly, most people won't even get that. Most people won't even let that to, when he said that to me, I heard that last week. When he said that, I paused the whole video. And that made so much sense. It said, let me read it to you one more time. They put some of the valuable things on a high shelf so you can't get to them until you qualify. If you want the things on the highest shelf, you got to stand on the books you read. Let me tell you real quickly what I take from that. A lot of things that are not that you need to unlock for information, they come in books. They come in books. They come in various books. And a lot of people don't take the time to read, so you don't unlock any knowledge to get to that higher shelf. And that is so important to try to read or listen to audiobooks and I noticed that I used to read a book and just be done with it. You can read a book several times and there'd be several different things that you miss in that book. But ultimately, with that quote that he said, is like the higher things, the more valuable things on a higher shelf, and you'll never know how to get to those things, whether it be figuring out ways to build your money or different investments or things that you're trying to do, whether it's real estate or whatever it is. You got to read. You got to read, and you won't be able to reach those things unless you got books and knowledge that you can stand on to reach that higher shelf. Listen, that's real talk. That is some real talk, and a lot of us miss out on a lot of things in life because we don't take the time to, gather up new information and learn new information from books. And that's the thing. Those resources and those keys to open those padlocks to the higher shelf, they're in those books. So take that from advice from me, sending that to you. Like, the higher things, the things that you want to get to in life, you can only get to them if you stand on the books that you read. And if you're not reading, you don't have no books to stand on. If you don't have no books to stand on, you can't reach the higher value things on the shelf. So let that process for you. That's real talk. But let's get back to what we do. And the one thing that I want to talk about is fragrances, man, because Lattafa, damn it, one of these fragrance places, these fragrance companies going to give me an endorsement because, man, listen, I am known in the barber industry. I'm known in fitness. I'm known in podcasts. I'm known in the nutrition area. I know a lot of people. So if I'm talking about a certain fragrance, people gonna go out and try to figure out what that is, and they want to buy it because I said it, because they respect my opinion. So whether it be Dolce and Gabbana, Latafa, uh, Afnan, one of these Middle Eastern fragrances places, maybe not Dolce and Gabbana, but Latafa, somebody's gonna give me an endorsement because I got a lot of cologne from you. And I spend a lot of money from you, and I promote that. So I want people to know that Middle Eastern fragrances are not to be effed with. These are serious fragrances and serious smells that you want to be on your body. So hopefully soon, I've emailed you, Latafa. I've emailed Latafa. I'm waiting on the email back. I'm gonna keep emailing you guys until you say, "Hey, let's take a look at your shows and let me see what's going on with you. How can we help? Be a part of your brand and you be a part of our brand." So watch, that's gonna happen. I put it in the atmosphere and I'm putting it into the thought process. It's gonna come to fruition. But the two fragrances I want to talk about, one is a unisex and one is just for men. So ladies, I do got something for you. The first fragrance I want to talk about is Dolce and Gabbana The One. Listen, this fragrance is something that's just, it smells really good. You will know it smells like just if you dressed up and you got something smooth on, even if you got on some casual stuff, you put this on, man, it just smells like, you're serious about how you smell, you're serious about life, you're serious about how you dress, and this just smells like a great smell that acquires to fashion, and somebody that's really into fragrance, you definitely gonna have this on your fragrance shelf because this right here smells good. The only thing about Dolce and Gabbana The One, and this is what I tell people a lot of times about Middle Eastern fragrances and American fragrances, this don't last 6 to 8 hours. Unfortunately, and as expensive as this little bottle was $50-something. This was like this a 1.9, this 1 point something bottle. So this was like $50-something. So for this to be at the price that it's at, it should be lasting all damn day. But that's the only setback about this cologne that I can say. It smells great, but it probably only gonna give you 6 hours of performance. On your shirt, it'll probably last to the next day. But Dolce and Gabbana, those who are fragrance enthusiasts, Dolce and Gabbana The One. If you're a man, this is somewhere on your shelf. And last but not least, I got a fragrance, man, and I showed y'all on the last episode the other one to this. It was silver. The Wujud. This is the cousin to this. So the Wujud is the silver one. This is the gold. This is called Nebraska. This is Latafa from the Latafa Pride. See, Latafa, I know all about it. This is from the Latafa Pride. This is the higher end collection of Latafa. It is called Nebraska. And man, listen, women, I'm here to tell you. If your man is wearing this, you're gonna want to bite a hole in his head because it smells like a freshly baked chocolate cake. No BS. This smells good. This has sugar in it. It has vanilla in it. I could be. It has vanilla. It has saffron. The stuff that's in here is crazy, and it has cacao in it, and it smells like a freshly baked warm chocolate cake. Women, if you wearing this as well, your man smells you, it's about to go down. I'm telling you, this smells like you just want to bite the skin off somebody. It's just real talk. This right here smells great. I just got this I just got this yesterday in the mail, and this has been out of stock for about 6 months. So it's back in stock, and it's called Latafa Nebraska. It's Nebraska. It's from their Pride collection. This is from their higher end collection, and this smells like Oof, you're gonna want to. Listen. If you get intimate with somebody, if you get intimate with your partner with this, it's gonna be blood because they're gonna bite the skin off you because it's gonna feel like they biting into a chocolate cake, but it's gonna go down. But so you got Dolce and Gabbana the one, and you got Latifah's Nebraska from the Latifah Pride collection. All right, y'all, let's move along. Let's move it along. Move it right on along. The things I want to talk about. There's two things I want to really talk about. And it's a discussion that I had quickly on my TikTok. A lot of people have desensitized and normalized toxicity in relationships. I'm not talking about just intimate relationships. I'm talking about friend relationship. A lot of y'all have normalized the abuse in relationships and desensitize yourself to the shit that your partners do or you do to your partners in a relationship. And that is the craziest thing to me. The things that go on that are so toxic that people have normalized, like, oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. Oh, that's just what she does. That's what he does. Man, stop it. These are toxic situations. These are toxic situations. So I'm going to name off the front runners for toxic situations. If you have this in your relationship and you have accepted this for a numerous amount of years, it's a toxic situation and you might want to reevaluate what it is that you consider love and toxic. Number one, if a person becomes physical with you, that is a toxic explosion all the time. You should never have to put your hands on anyone, whether you're a man or a woman in the relationship. Bottom line, I don't care. Listen, if you caught your partner, dudes, if you caught your lady with another man, there is no need to be physical with her or the other dude, unless it was your brother, your actual biological brother, or your best friend. But overall, you should never become physical with that woman, period, because she's already shown you who she is at the point of what you saw. You're going to have to lick your wounds and leave. But if you become physical and stay in that relationship, that is toxicity at its finest. That is toxic situation. Women, if you're being physical, if you're being physical to your man, you think that just because you're a woman, that's not toxic? You're fooling yourself. That is toxic. Anytime anybody in a relationship puts their hands on either party, you are building toxicity, period. Because when you stay with somebody, excuse me, my allergies, I'm sorry. When you stay with somebody, when they've been physical with you, and you begin to normalize, and the normalization comes from, I love him. I don't want to leave that. I don't want to lose that person. I love her. I don't want to lose that person, even though they do these things. You have begun to desensitize yourself and normalize that person's behavior, man. I don't care what you say. Y'all need to realize before I get deep into it, let me go on with some other things that are toxic. It's the physical. If the person is yelling back and forth, saying just obscenities, and y'all yelling at each other and y'all going back and forth all the time, that's toxic. If you in the house breaking up stuff, putting holes in the wall, kicking stuff and throwing stuff, that's toxic. If you're cheating on somebody over and over again, that is toxic. If you are going through a person's phone, I don't care. You don't have the right to do that. That's toxic. So what people have done is when you look at your relationship, when you look at your relationship, You know what loving, like when somebody loves you, whether it's your mother, father, sister, brother, whoever, you know what that feels like. There's no way around it. You know what love feels like. So I think a lot of people know that there's a difference between somebody loving me in a toxic situation. And I think a lot of times people have decided to say, it is what it is. Well, that is what it is normalizing the situation. Listen, I've been in a toxic relationship. I've been in a toxic relationship. I've been in a couple, you know, years ago. I've been in toxic relationships. I'm sure I've been toxic to someone else. But when you start realizing that this is toxic and this person is abusive, verbally, physically, and anything else under that umbrella, why do you stay? Why are we desensitizing our feelings to and normalizing the situation as if it's okay? It's not okay, man. We gotta stop. We gotta wake up people's thought process. If you really believe that physical abuse is love, you're mistaken, and you have reprogrammed yourself into believing just because you don't want to go through the hurt of breaking up that you have normalized this person's behavior, and that's where we go wrong. You see, let me tell you something, and I had this discussion before. I'm never gonna put my hands on my woman. That's that's not even a thought. That's not even a that's not even a thought to cross my mind with my woman. That's not even that don't even breeze past my mind. And if for some ungodly reason, I don't know what that could possibly be, that I did something physical to, I would expect her to leave ASAP. And if she did something to me, I would leave ASAP if it was physical. Because that is a toxic situation. Because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, when a person becomes physical and they start doing toxic things like cheating, yelling, physical, all those things, they don't just go away. Because once a person decides to say, that's just them, that's just them, you are ingrained and indoctrinated into a toxic relationship. You have indoctrinated yourself into a toxic relationship, and you have normalized these situations, and you have desensitized yourself with this person's behavior. And I see it all the time. I see it all the time. There's some things like, if we're being truthful, you know, if I think about how many times me and my woman have gotten into a argument. There's some things there's some lines you just don't cross. This just because it may. The one thing about me, I'm gonna walk away from an argument. You're never gonna see me out in public arguing with anybody. You're never gonna see me out in public arguing with my woman. I'm never gonna do that. But I'm never gonna say things that are hurtful, and expect her to accept that. Or I don't. She's never gonna say things to me that's hurtful, and expect me to accept that. And if a person keeps doing what is accepted, I'm sorry, let me back it up. If a person keeps doing to you what you have normalized, it ain't gonna stop. If a person keeps doing to you what you have desensitized yourself to, it don't stop. It becomes toxic. It becomes toxic all in through that relationship. So The thing that I want to know and that I'm saying is we have got to understand a toxic situation and stop normalizing these things that go in a relationship. This should be always, listen, in a relationship, you should, if you're a man or a woman, when you get into a new relationship, you already should come with a bag of stuff that you're saying, that's toxic, I will not accept that. Period. Because the minute you decide to accept what you know is toxic, it's over. You're in a toxic relationship. And some people be in a toxic relationship for years and refuse to say, this shit crazy. This shit that I'm in is crazy. A lot of women, and I'm saying this, I'm not generalizing shit no more. A lot of women and a lot of men. I'm gonna say this. Women first. A dude can be a horrible, toxic piece of shit. He can not be working. He can hang out all night. He cannot help you with anything ever. And because he is giving you good sex, it normalized his toxic behavior. Now I gotta say that again, because y'all ain't hearing me. A lot of women can be involved with a guy who is this toxic all over the place, not having a job, not having his own crib, not looking for a job, talks crazy to you, hangs out all hours of the night, all of that stuff. And because he's sexing you good, all his toxic behavior become normalized to you. All of his toxic behavior becomes normalized. Now let's journey back over. Let's jump over the fence to the dudes. Same thing with you dudes. You can have a chick that don't give a shit about helping you with nothing, not encourage you to be a better nothing. Always got a hand out for something. Never willing to contribute to nothing. Talks to you like you a piece of dirt. And because she got good sex, you have normalized that toxic individual. Because she doing these things to you, you have normalized this individual's behavior. I see this all the time. Because a woman has good sex or because the dude is sexing you right, you normalize his toxicity. Y'all got to hear what I'm saying. So many people we know as friends or relationships that we in, because a person has money, because a person is sexing you right, you have normalized that person's toxic behavior. Now, when I say some things, when you hear somebody say some stuff like what I'm saying now, this is the truth. This is the truth. A lot of people normalize abusive behavior in relationships, even with friends. Think about some of your friends that they don't bring nothing to the table. They always in some shit. They always got something going on. They always asking for something. But because you grew up with this person, you accept that person's behavior and says, oh, that's just him. He's been like that since we was in elementary, or she's been like that since we in elementary. You have normalized and you have desensitized yourself to these people and their toxic ways in friendship and in relationships. Now, y'all can't tell me, you out there, you can't tell me I'm not telling the truth. You can't tell me I got so many stories. I got so many stories from so many people that I just really can't tell all the stories that I know. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. When you understand who you are as a person and what you bring to the table in a friendship or relationship or business ship, you're not going to stand for toxicity in either one of those relationships. But when you feel like you got something to lose, you start normalizing somebody's behavior, somebody's toxic behavior. You normalize. Make sure that word is printed across your mind. You start normalizing that person's behavior. When does it stop? When does it stop? Wake up, man. Wake up. Wake up. You know a loving relationship when you're in one. You know a toxic relationship when you're in one. And you know what the funny part about toxic relationships? Excuse me. When you're not in one and your friends are in one, you can see it, but you can see it. You can see every aspect of that toxicity. But why is it that you can see those toxic situations that don't involve you, but you can't see the ones that involve you? That's real talk. So my point to people, stop accepting toxicity. You should be you have control over that. Stop normalizing and desensitizing a toxic behavior. Stop making excuses for why you accepting and normalizing this person's behavior. Those are two words you should burn in your head. Desensitizing, normalizing, because they desensitizing a lot of stuff to people. So I'm telling you, if you in a toxic relationship, get a piece of paper and write out all the things positive that this person does. Everything positive on one side of the paper. And on the other side of the paper, write out all the negative, obscene, crazy, insane shit that this person does. And I'm guaranteeing you, they don't add up. They don't line up. Because normally a person who is so toxic, they don't do a lot of good shit. They don't do a lot of good stuff. But people, I'm gonna tell you this one more time. And I'm not no relationship counselor. I'm far from it. I got my own things that I'm trying to improve on in my relationship. But I can tell you one damn thing. I am not toxic. I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs of my woman. I'm not ever physically abusive to my woman. I don't get in my woman's space. I'm not going through my woman's phone. I'm damn sure not cheating on my woman. I don't even think about those things. But the thing is, people accept those things because the person is either providing a service, and when I mean a service, y'all know what I mean, sexual service for them that's got them in a trance, or they have money. And y'all think the money and the sexual situations outweigh the crazy shit. So to wrap this up, I'm going to say this one more time. Stop normalizing toxic behavior and stop desensitizing yourself to toxic people. I don't give a damn who it may be. We got relatives that are toxic, that will try to manipulate you because you're blood. You know what a loving relationship feels like. So whether it's your friend, your partner, your business relationships, whatever, stop normalizing. Stop normalizing toxic behavior, man. And stop desensitizing yourself to the bullshit in these toxic situations. You gotta stop doing that. Moving right along. Yeah, moving right. Let's get off that. Listen, my next topic, I just want to discuss this. This brings a lighter note. The person you in a relationship right now, if you in a relationship right now, right? If you in a relationship right now, whether you're a man or woman or two men or two women, however whatever. If you're in a relationship, intimate relationship with a person that you love, that you want to be with for the rest of your days, until it's time for you to go to the upper room, until it's time. What made you realize that the person that you're with was the one for you? What set them apart from all the other relationships you were in? What was the confirming thought or factor that individual did that made you say, man, it's over? This is the one for me. This is the one for me. What made you say that about your partner? That made you say, I'm done. I don't need to be with nobody else. This person brings a plethora of things into my life. This person has made me change. This person has calmed me down. This person has advanced me. This person has made me think outside of what I normally thought in relationships. This person holds me down. This person encourages me. What made you decide, damn, this she's the one, or he's the one, or however? You know what's crazy? I make reference to my friends, right? And we was at a jazz festival last weekend. It's a great time. It's my girl, friends of mine. Like one is like my sister. The other one's like a grumpy old brother. They know who they are. And there was some other friends with us as well. And we were just having a good time. Conversation, drinks, and all that. And this particular couple, who I've known for going on 16 years. Like I said, one is like a real biological sister. Her name is Tony. And the other one's like a grumpy brother, Chuck. A lot of times you can see with a couple that they were meant to be with each other. And they both understood that. Even with my uncle and aunt, Ray. They have a story. I think every couple that's meant to be together has a story that just made them say, this person is my person. We were talking during the jazz festival because they was on my head about when I'm gonna marry my girl. So they have, there's something about them too that I said if one of them was to pass away, the other one couldn't survive. And they ain't been together. I think it's going on 19 years. They haven't been together. Like, you tell an older person that, like, when they've been together 50 years, 40 years, 60 years, 70 years, that usually when one of them passes, the other one is not far behind because that was their person. They were spiritually connected. That was their person. They spent all these years. So they couldn't imagine being on this earth without them. But something Chuck and Tony has said, well, yeah, they both did, but more so the grumpy brother. If something was to happen to my sister, he said, man, I'm out too. And he meant it. Like, if something happened on a trip and she happened to, I don't want to put nothing out there, but just something happened where she didn't make it. He said, man, I'm right behind her. That to me says volumes. It wasn't even a thought in his mind when he said, man, I'm gone. If she fell off a cliff, I'm coming right behind her. We out. It's over. That lets you know something. And you cannot bat an eye to that. Like, this is the person I'm supposed to be with. And I know this. And that gave me chills. I was like, as much as I know about y'all, to not blink an eye if most of us, we think that we with the right person. We have a thought. But some of us know, like, this is my person that God put me with, to be with, that God, brought into my life, because this is the person. But when somebody says, if this person was to pass away right now, I'm out. I'm doing whatever I got to do, and I'm passing away as well. And be serious about that? A lot of y'all don't think that way. A lot of y'all don't think that way. But when you know somebody, that person is for you, it's a different vibe. The same way with my uncle and aunt. We had breakfast, and they tell me and my girl about how they met. That was meant to happen. Like, everything that aligned for them was meant to happen. So I'm asking y'all out there, when did you know that the person I'm in love with, the person I trust, is the person that God has put me with until I'm out? Until I am no longer here. This is the person that thinks like me, or maybe is the opposite of me, that balances out me, or I balance out her. When you look at your wife, men, when you look at your wife, your girlfriend, What do you see? Did she do something that says she is the one? I'm not talking about no movie shit. I'm not talking about something you just thought about. She did something that you said, what in the? Or she supported you in a situation that just, you just like, man, ain't no way another chick would have did this. So when you look at your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance, have you come to that moment and said, I'm out the game. I don't give a shit about no other chick. I'm not. This is the one. The way she is meant for me. And you mean that. Not just even when you mad. I don't give a damn. You said to yourself, I don't give a damn if we mad. She is the one. Women, when you look at the man that your husband, your boyfriend, or your fiance, what made you say, I don't care about nothing, no other guy out here. I am done. He is the one. What did he do? Did you come home one night from a long day at work and he had dinner cooked for you? Did he take care of the kids and give you some time off to just do your thing or whatever you need to do? Did he support your dream? Did he support your career? Did you come home and, just he knew you had a bad day and let you talk his damn head off and didn't complain? What was it that made you say, this is the one? And I'm going to tell y'all, all of y'all out there, everybody out here who don't have that person, I don't know what to tell you, because you would know. You would know. Let me tell you something. With my woman, a lot of times she get on my damn nerves. That's just her. My woman asks a lot of questions. She wants to know every detailed thing. She wants things from me that no other woman has asked of me, demanded from me. So when I knew she was the one, and I'm gonna say this, and a lot of y'all might not. I'm truthful with myself. I'm honest with myself. I'm honest with who I am. See, I don't hide from anything. I'm not on the podcast just saying you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. Nah. I have been through some shit myself, a lot of shit, and through experiences, you learn to get better if you're smart. The thing with my girl, when I said, thank you, God, like I really know she's the one, is I used to be a cheater. I used to, in every relationship I was in, I never was satisfied. I used to cheat, but the woman would never know that I was cheating. I used to cheat. I didn't care. But my woman, let me tell you something. and those who are in relationships that are, you with your one, probably understand this. I couldn't dream of cheating on my woman. There's not a fiber in my being that would allow that to happen. I've never felt that way. My woman is so spiritually connected to who she is and her, God and all that. That to me, to even fathom cheating would be like disrespecting. And listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying before people judge what I'm about to say. To even fathom cheating on my woman is like doing something so disrespectful to God. Because I know, the reason why I said that, because I know he gave her to me. Because I had to make a lot of changes internally to be with that woman. And all the changes were necessary. And I didn't fight the necessary changes because I knew she was the one. And every time we got into it, we would somehow come back together and I would hear God's voice like, just calm down. Look at what you doing. Look at what you said. How can you help? He never wanted us to break up. When you know when you know your woman's the one, change is effortless. It's necessary, and you know that, and you don't fight that. One woman asks questions because she cares about me. She wants to know these things because she cares about me. There's a lot of women that I've been with. They ain't asked no damn questions. So I was allowed to do whatever I wanted to do. So when you look at your woman or you look at your man, what made you say, she's the one, he's the one? And I'm going to tell you something. To see relationships that are built like that is awesome. It's awesome. So if you get a chance to look at some relationships or be around some relationships that is centered around, this is the person that's meant for me, and embellishing it, rub it on your skin. Rub it on your damn skin. Because it's infectious to see somebody that says, you know what? I know she's the one. I know he's the one. If something happens to him, I don't want to be here no more. If something happens to her, I don't want to be here no more. To really have that person be like your best friend. The people say that all the time. Oh, this is my girl. She's my best friend. When you really are best friends, it's different. It's different. So if I've had the opportunity to look in the eyes and hear the voices of relationships that are built on things like that. But look at your partner. When did you know, or do you know, this person's the one? I know. Remember our girl been together 4 years, and we had a lot of rough patches. A lot of rough patches. But that woman never gave up on me. And I never gave up on her. I don't care how mad. That woman, oof. When you knew that relationship was the one, that person was the one, man, I applaud you. I applaud you. So the question I'm asking you, the relationship you're in right now, the marriage you're in right now, the engagement you're in right now. What did you come to the conclusion yet this is the one? I got another friend of mine, young brother. He cool, man. We've been cutting his hair for a while now. Like he's like a younger brother than me, man. His name is David. And he loves his, like, he knows she's the one. With his marriage, all the things that, some of the things that they talk about, some of the disagreements, and then you realize this is why she's built this way, or this is why this is what's going on. Me and that brother, me and him had a lot of conversations. I learned through him. I'm sure he learns through me. But to be around people like that, it's good, man. So the question is, when did you know? When did you know? And have you come to the moment that this person's for me? God made this person for me. When did you know? Put that in the comments. Put that in the comments. Today was a serious conversation, man. Think about the things that I said. Stop normalizing toxic behavior and stop desensitizing yourself to toxic behavior. If you're a good person, you don't have to ever accept toxic behavior. Don't ever normalize that. Don't ever desensitize your mind or reprogram your mind to say, oh, this is the best I can do, so I'm going to deal with this. And remember, intimacy is only a portion. It's a high portion of the relationship. A person can be good at that, but be horrible at everything else of how they treat you. So remember that. So remember those words, and also remember the fact that when did you know that the woman you was with, the man you was with, is truly your person? Listen here, man. I've had a great time with you guys. I hope that you take these topics and digest them, man. Digest these topics and listen to them and get better. Get better at who you are. That's the whole thing starts at how you can get better as a person, how you can research your situation, learn more information, and remember this quote. Remember this quote by Jim Rohn. Remember this. Put this in your notes. Man, I got so many good quotes in my notes, it is ridiculous. Remember this, y'all. They put some of the valuable things on a high shelf, so you can't get to them until you qualify. If you want the things on the highest shelf, you got to stand on the books you read. So if you're not reading and getting information, those valuable things on the high shelf is out of your league and out of your reach. And they will always be out of your league and out of your reach until you start finding the keys in these books to unlocking some of this information, so you can reach some of these things, the valuable things on these higher shelves. Put that in your notes. Put that in the notes and use that. Remember that. Continue to, I don't care if you 70, 80, 90, continue to read, continue to process information. Sometimes turn off the music. Sometimes turn off the damn music and play something that can educate your mind. And then turn the music back on after you educate your mind. But if you're not trying to educate your mind at least every day, the valuable things that's on the high shelf is going to be always out of your reach. So to wrap this up, man, I thank you guys for tuning in. This is another deep episode of the podcast by word of mouth. I am so glad I could bring these episodes to you. And just pass the word on, man. We going to blow up. This podcast is going to blow up. I'm telling you. Things are happening. Things are working. I am telling you. And when I blow up, like Dre, man, I remember the first episodes, the first 14, 15 episodes. And by the way, this is episode 15. So just remember that and keep riding with me. Keep riding with me, and we're going to get better and better and better. And next week, I promise you, next episode, I promise you I will have a guest on, and we're going to talk about something real saucy. So I appreciate everybody again. Make it home safely if you're driving. Finish up your work if you at work. And relax for the remainder of your Sunday if you are chilling at the house, and enjoy your day. Until the next time, motivation.